Before we start, I would just like to say thank you all so much for 50 subscribers. It's not a big number, but I still really appreciate it. So today I was scrolling through Twitter as I normally do, and I came across this video that really set me off. And I know this will be kind of a different type of video, but stick with it. I think you guys, no, that's stupid. You know what? This is the most annoying video, and this is probably going to piss you guys off too. So, you know what? Let's get into it.
Say that Tom Brady is the best football player ever. What you're actually saying is that rings are the best indicator we have of individual greatness. And if you want to use that logic, that's fine. But you better have Terry Bradshaw in your top 3 all time. You better have Eli Manning above Dan Marino all time.
You know, I think I can say, at least when I say Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time, don't mean just because of his rings, right? And your argument that, oh, you should have Eli Manning over Dan Marino. Eli Manning was not a very good quarterback, let's be honest here, and everybody sees that, okay? And look, if you just before I even get into the other arguments this guy has, if you just look at what all of Eli Manning's stats throughout his career, and especially after those 2 Super Bowls, and then Tom Brady's stats after those two Super Bowls, see how they compare. They really don't.
All time. And of course, most people don't, because deep down they realize this is a silly, flawed argument. Obviously, there's coaching. Obviously, there's defense. Obviously, in a playoff series that is one game, there's a lot of luck involved. They don't just hand the Lombardi Trophy to the best player in the league at the end of the season and say, here you go. Now, there are awards that they do hand to the best players in the league at the end of the season, and Peyton Manning has as many first-team All-Pro nods as...
You know what award they do give to the best player in the Super Bowl? Super Bowl MVP. You know how many times Brady has won that? 4. You know how many times Peyton Manning has won that? 1. That's not even an argument, man. And All-Pro, you know, they vote for that, okay? So there can be some bias there, too.
There are awards that they do hand to the best players in the league at the end of the season, and Peyton Manning has as many first-team All-Pro nods as Drew Brees, as Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, all combined. He has 5 MVP awards, and probably he should have won more over.
Yes, well, fair. Peyton Manning does have more regular MVP awards. With addition to those 4 Super Bowl MVP awards, Tom Brady has 3 regular MVP awards. So, and I would argue that Super Bowl MVP is probably harder to accomplish than NFL MVP, since it's only one game that takes 3 or 4 playoff games to get to. So, you know, I think it might be fair to add up the 6 and 3, and there you have 9. If you were to add up, well, let's see. So Peyton has 5 MVPs, 1 Super Bowl MVP. That's 6. There might be a little bit of a number difference there, if you know what I mean.
And he routinely led better offenses than Tom Brady did, and if you look at their playoff numbers, they're very, very similar, except...
You know, maybe the reason that Peyton Manning routinely led better offenses than Tom Brady was that Peyton Manning routinely had better wide receivers than Tom Brady. All right, you can say, all right, well, in that era, let's say around the time of the first Giants Super Bowl, maybe our 16-0 season, which, again, Peyton Manning never had. You look at the fact that was probably our best season receiver-wise. We had Randy Moss and Wes Welker, just to name a few. Yeah, those were just for a couple years. Obviously, Wes Welker stayed here longer than Randy Moss, but that was just for a few years. And I believe neither of them won Super Bowls with us. So, I mean, overall, Brady has been winning Super Bowls with receivers like Troy Brown, Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, Philip Dorsett, all guys you probably have only heard of a few times. Maybe not Edelman, but you've only heard of them a few times. So to make an argument that it's just because of Peyton Manning that he leads better offenses is just ridiculous.
Playoff numbers, they're very, very similar, except Tom Brady, when he plays bad, he still wins playoff games because it's a team accomplishment. Winning is a team accomplishment. In terms of individuals, like individual accomplishment, there's no argument against Peyton.
In terms of individual accomplishments, there's no argument against Peyton Manning, you say. Like I've said, 4 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 regular MVPs, 10 Super Bowl trips, the most TD passes in regular season history, and the possibility of passing Drew Brees pretty soon. So I think Tom Brady has more individual accomplishments, or at least better individual accomplishments, than Peyton Manning. So really, your argument is pretty dumb, okay? So, in conclusion, your arguments are dumb and you don't know what you're talking about.